From one of the Greensburg
We're getting
an exclusive look inside the apartment.
So breaking tonight, one of the members of the Greensburg jury deliberated for more than 7 hours tonight before deciding to sentence him to death.
A ringleader of the Greensburg Six, who together tortured and murdered a young woman.
News reporter Ashley Hartwig standing
For the
outside
death
the
penalty,
courthouse.
and so far in this case, two of them got it. Minutes after learning.
Jennifer Daugherty's life took a dark turn in February of 2010 when she fell victim to a shocking and gruesome crime. She became the target of a chilling case. These monsters subjugated her to unimaginable pain for several days, ultimately leading to her death. The case garnered significant media attention, shedding light on the vulnerability of individuals with disabilities and emphasizing the paramount importance of protecting their rights and safety. However, it is crucial to delve deeper into the factors that led to this horrifying case. Who were the perpetrators behind this heinous act, and what were their motives? Furthermore, it is essential to understand how the legal proceedings unfolded and what outcomes were achieved. By exploring these aspects, we can gain a comprehensive understanding of the case and its implications. Jennifer Daugherty, born on November 8, 1979 in Latro, Pennsylvania, subsequently relocated to Pittsburgh with her mother and stepfather after her parents' divorce. Jennifer never received a formal psychiatric assessment, yet it was evident that she possessed an inherent cognitive impairment that rendered her susceptible to mistreatment from her peers. Throughout her childhood, she endured persistent bullying and harassment at the hands of fellow students due to her unique circumstances. Jennifer endured a challenging upbringing, for which neither she nor her family bear responsibility. Unfortunately, individuals can exhibit unkindness towards those they perceive as disabled or incapable of defending themselves. It can be stated that Jennifer has experienced victimization from a young age, which is indeed distressing. Regardless of enduring mistreatment from numerous individuals, Jennifer consistently maintained a warm and optimistic demeanor. Her loved ones universally regarded her as an exceptional individual, describing her as both beautiful and compassionate. Jennifer's passions included dancing, singing, and caring for her family. She is consistently mindful of avoiding any intentional harm, whether it be physical or emotional towards others. As stated by Jennifer's mother, Jennifer expressed her desire to be like the other kids, to be what society commonly refers to as normal. However, it is important to recognize that using the term normal in this context can be considered an ableist statement. Ableism refers to the belief that individuals with disabilities or physical and mental differences are somehow inferior or flawed. This perspective assumes that there is one singular standard of normal for physical and mental abilities, and it often leads to the disapproval and discrimination of those who do not meet this standard. Consequently, individuals who do not fit into this discriminatory definition of normal can feel excluded or condemned. The portrayal of ableism can manifest through the utilization of derogatory language, slurs, and stereotypes when referring to individuals with disabilities. Individuals who experience ableism often face unjust condemnation simply for being true to themselves, despite having done nothing wrong. Despite enduring a lifetime of abuse and discrimination due to ableism, Jennifer displayed remarkable resilience and never sought to assign blame or voice complaints regarding the treatment she received. Jennifer's aspirations were remarkably straightforward and ordinary. She yearned for independence, desiring the ability to sustain herself, establish a fulfilling career in a field of her preference, embark on the journey of starting a family, and potentially experience the joy of raising children of her own. These goals may appear straightforward and commonplace to an average individual without any mental or physical limitations. However, for Jennifer, they posed a unique challenge. It is not that there was anything inherently wrong with her. Rather, it is the fact that our world was not designed to accommodate individuals like her. In 2010, Jennifer was determined to embark on an adventure and venture into the outside world. Her aspiration was to achieve independence and eventually move out of her mother's residence. Despite being 30 years old at the time, Jennifer still possessed a mindset reminiscent of her teenage years. She yearned for freedom and autonomy, yet her family harbored concerns. Both her mother and sister displayed a high level of protectiveness towards Jennifer, given her vulnerable and defenseless nature. Their desire to foster her independence was juxtaposed with their lingering apprehension. After all, they had devoted 3 decades to caring for her, making it ingrained in their very being to shield and safeguard her. In order to alleviate concerns for both her mother and sister, as well as foster her own ability to adapt to an independent lifestyle, Jennifer made the decision to enroll in living skills classes offered at the esteemed West Place Clubhouse in Greensburg. This local community center is dedicated to serving individuals with cognitive challenges, providing a range of courses and programs designed to enhance their career prospects and employability. Jennifer found the center to be immensely beneficial in developing her life skills, and she thoroughly enjoyed the enriching educational experiences it offered. Jennifer was undergoing training to pursue a career as an automotive technician. It was highly advantageous for her that the clubhouse was conveniently situated within her community. Almost every day, she would commute from Mount Pleasant to Greensburg via bus to attend her classes. This endeavor marked her initial steps into the realm of adulthood. Over time, Jennifer found herself becoming more involved with her own circle of companions at the center. Her family was overjoyed to discover that she was flourishing, both mentally and socially. Initially, her mother and sister had concerns that Jennifer's disorder might hinder her acceptance among others. However, owing to her warm and amiable personality, Jennifer managed to win the affections of many. However, the news of Jennifer making new acquaintances at the center may not necessarily be positive.
Yeah, this hearing is still going on. It has been going on for about 2 hours now. You talk about graphic, you talk about disturbing. I've been a reporter now for almost 20 years. I've seen and I've heard an awful lot of things, but to hear somebody describe in detail how he and his friends tortured a woman and then killed her, honestly, it's the most disturbing thing I've ever heard.
It is important to note that Jennifer's family has always prioritized her safety and well-being, going to great lengths to protect her from any potential harm. This is particularly crucial due to her inherent innocence and trusting nature, which unfortunately make her quite vulnerable. Jennifer is not the kind of person who tends to be skeptical of others, as she genuinely believes that these individuals she has befriended are indeed her friends. Regrettably, it becomes apparent later on that these newfound companions turn out to be her worst nightmare. Jennifer's circle of acquaintances comprised Angela Marinucci, Amber Medinquieta, Melvin Knight, Ricky Smyrns, Robert Masters, and Peggy Miller. Each of these individuals shares similarities with Jennifer, as they all face various mental challenges. Notably, Amber Medinquieta and Melvin Knight played significant roles in this particular case. They initially crossed paths at a homeless shelter in 2010, and subsequently developed a romantic relationship. Together, they relocated to Greensburg, Pennsylvania, where they eventually encountered Jennifer. Limited information is available regarding Amber Medinquieta and her mental challenges, apart from the fact that she was born in 1992. Melvin Knight, born in 1989, grew up without a father figure in his life due to his father's incarceration and addiction. At the tender age of 5, Melvin experienced a traumatic incident where he fell out of a moving vehicle, resulting in a severe head injury. This incident had a lasting impact on his social and mental well-being, leading to lifelong challenges. Reports indicate that Melvin had a prior connection with Ricky Smyrns during their time in prison for separate offenses. In February of 2010, fate brought Melvin and his partner Amber into contact with Ricky when they relocated to Greensburg. Remarkably, Ricky even extended an offer for them to stay at his apartment. It is essential to consider that Amber was allegedly pregnant during this period. Ricky Smyrns, born in 1986, faced a challenging upbringing characterized by unfortunate circumstances. Regrettably, he was abandoned as an infant by both of his parents, with his mother being involved in prostitution and his father being associated with a gang. Consequently, Ricky was placed into foster care. At the tender age of 4, he began receiving treatment for mental health disorders. Shockingly, by the age of 6, he had already started using addictive substances and alcohol. Throughout his childhood, Ricky endured a distressing environment, as he faced mistreatment from his adopted father and uncle. It wasn't until he turned 10 that he was taken in by the Smurns family, which provided him with a more stable and nurturing life. However, the lasting impact of his earlier experiences had already taken a toll on him. Ricky had been diagnosed with various psychiatric disorders, including PTSD and multiple personality disorder. Notably, Ricky developed a habit of extending offers to people to stay at his apartment. The additional long-term resident residing alongside Melvin and Amber is Angela Marinucci. Angela, born in 1992, was merely 17 years of age at the time of the crime. While she was believed to be Ricky's girlfriend, she also confronted personal challenges. According to her family, when Angela was 15, she was involved in a truck accident which resulted in a lasting brain injury. However, subsequent findings revealed that Angela had been struggling with depression and potentially engaged in substance use prior to the accident. 2 additional individuals who were granted accommodation in Ricky's apartment were Robert Masters and Peggy Miller. Ricky had a tendency to offer his residence to individuals he encountered on the streets. Out of the entire group, Angela was the first person to establish a friendship with Jennifer. The two seemed to connect well, likely due to their shared mindset. It is important to note that despite Jennifer's age of 30, her level of maturity was comparable to that of a teenager. Initially, Jennifer got along with everyone, as she is a kind-hearted individual, and also because she finally found a circle of friends with whom she could socialize, which was immensely rewarding for her. Regrettably, the state of happiness she experienced was short-lived. As confirmed, Ricky and Jennifer were previously regarded as best friends. However, a significant event occurred that caused Angela's relationship with Jennifer to deteriorate. Specifically, Angela observed an excessive level of dedication from Ricky towards Jennifer, which left her dissatisfied. According to reports, Angela even overheard Ricky expressing his affection for Jennifer by saying "I love you" during a phone conversation. Indeed, it appears that Ricky's confession of romantic feelings for Jennifer and her reciprocation did lead to Angela feeling a strong sense of envy towards Jennifer. Angela suspected that Jennifer was trying to engage in an affair with Ricky, and as a result, she placed blame on Jennifer for Ricky's flirtatious actions. Angela's emotions and suspicions seemed to contribute to her holding Jennifer accountable for her boyfriend's behavior. She therefore devised a scheme to have Jennifer stay over for a sleepover. When Jennifer received the invitation, she was overjoyed. She went home and told her mother about the sleepover, but she kept the 5 other people who were staying at Ricky's apartment a secret from her parents because they wouldn't have let her attend a sleepover with 3 men. Instead, Jennifer told her mother it was a girls' party, and her mother was relieved that her social life was getting better. Before she left the house that day, she let Jennifer attend the sleepover. Later that day, Jennifer wrote a note to her mother saying, "Mom, I hope you have a good day at work, and I love you very much." Jennifer, although the 30-year-old was eager to hang out at her friend's place, her family didn't realize it would be the last time seeing her. When she got to the apartment, the environment wasn't at all joyful or exciting. Guys, before we go any further, let me warn you that the content that follows is quite graphic and upsetting. Please proceed with caution. The group attacked Jennifer as soon as she stepped inside the apartment. They grabbed her purse, stole her valuables, and doused her possessions in water. Jennifer was taken aback by their violent actions and didn't understand why her friends were making fun of her. It's unbelievable how these people who claimed to be her friends could do such horrible things to her. Angela and Amber were the first to start physically attacking her. After that, the group decided to humiliate her by putting various liquids and cleaning products on her, and even forcing her to consume them. They forced her to write a note claiming she committed suicide after her agony continued for more than 36 hours before they decided to finally end her life. Her body was wrapped in a trash bag by the group before being dumped in a parking lot close to Greensburg-Salem Middle School. She was abandoned close to a school like trash. After some time, a truck driver found Jennifer's remains and reported it to the police. Law enforcement officers quickly located and detained Jennifer's attackers, charging all 6 of them. Understandably, the case gained a great deal of media attention because of how brutal it was and how long the legal process took. The trial and subsequent legal proceedings endured for an extended period of time, spanning several years before a conclusive decision was ultimately reached. However, it is important to note that you can find solace in the fact that these individuals will not be granted their freedom in the near future. In April 2012, Melvin Knight pleaded guilty to first and second-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy to commit murder and kidnapping. By August 2012, a jury determined that he should receive the maximum penalty due to his direct involvement in delivering the fatal blow to the victim. Despite his attempts to appeal his sentence on 2 separate occasions, all of his appeals were ultimately rejected. On August 3, 2011, Angela Marinucci was handed a life sentence without the possibility of parole upon being convicted of first-degree murder. Due to her status as a minor at the time, she was ineligible for the maximum sentence. However, her life sentence was subsequently overturned, and she was instead sentenced to 60 years of imprisonment. It is important to note that there exists a possibility of parole in her case. Amber Medinkjeda was sentenced to 40 to 80 years in prison on December 4, 2013, after pleading guilty to third-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy. In November of 2019, however, she saw early release through the state's Board of Pardons. Initially, she faced the maximum sentence, but she managed to avoid it by agreeing to testify against the others involved. Ricky Smyrns was sentenced to capital punishment on February 28, 2013. Following his conviction, he filed an appeal against his sentence. In February 2017, a judge reviewed his case and ultimately upheld the capital punishment sentence. Peggy and Robert were both offered plea deals resulting in reduced sentences. Peggy Miller was sentenced to a term of 35 to 74 years after accepting the plea agreement. On December 19, 2013, Robert Masters pleaded guilty to charges of third-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and conspiracy to commit kidnapping. At the conclusion of the proceedings, Masters received a sentence of 30 to 70 years. These individuals face legal consequences for their actions. At the conclusion of this ordeal, it is evident that these individuals displayed a conspicuous absence of remorse for the grievous harm inflicted upon Jennifer. As Jennifer's family passionately articulated, these perpetrators, aptly described as monsters, are unworthy of any leniency or compassion, given that they callously robbed Jennifer of her life. It is essential to recognize that regardless of the severity of their punishment, it cannot fully assuage for the deep wounds and longing for closure that Jennifer's family experiences. Could you please share your thoughts on whether the sentencing of the 6 criminals was justified? I would appreciate your comments. Thank you for watching.